Hello and welcome to tonight's show.
Breakup. Disintegrate or disperse. Cause something to separate into several pieces, parts, or sections. Disperse or put an end to a gathering. Or with reference to a couple in a romance or a sexual relationship, which results into a split up, a separation, or stop living together, or stop being together, or part ways. And in this subject, we are going to talk about breaking up. How do we handle breakups? How do we deal with breakups? And how do we move on from breakups? So, with that said, let's get into this topic in my personal point of views on the shit show.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
Hello, everybody. This is your host with the most, Bane Allen. And today's topic, we will be talking about breaking up. Breaking up is one of the most difficult things that a man or a woman has to endure into their lives. In the beginning of the courtship, of getting to know one another, getting to learn one another, being compatible with one another, learning each other's do's and don'ts, learning each other's good habits and bad habits to develop what we call a relationship. And once that relationship is formed, then a bond between two people becomes love. And once love is inflicted into the relationship, then emotions and feelings become evolved and involved in so many ways, to where all emotions are played into that relationship. Happy, being sad, being mad, being angry, being joyful, being cheerful, being ecstatic, all of those emotions. It can come from jealousy to hatred to love and desire. What happens in a relationship majority of the time of breakups are people are not as compatible with one another as they think. Just because you're attracted to someone and they are attracted to you does not mean you are psychologically compatible for one another. You might be compatible in the bedroom, and after the sexual session is over, you tend to find out after a certain period of time in that relationship that you guys really do not have anything in common. So when those things come into play and there's no compatibility outside of the sexuality between a man and a woman, then there is going to be problems that will evolve into the relationship. Number one, cheating. If you're in a relationship with somebody and you feel you're not getting that mental feedback that you need to get from your partner, 9 times out of 10, a man or a woman will go and seek that attention that they starve and deserve from someone else. Instead of just breaking up with that person then and there, they still love the sex, but they can't deal with you from a mental standpoint. So they go out and they meet other people to fill that void. And once that void is met, then a lot of times it turns into a physical relationship with the other person. So during that time, a lot of people get greedy. A lot of people want to have the best of both worlds. They want to take advantage of the whole cake. They want the whole pie. They just don't want a slice. They want the whole damn pie. And they can play the role. They can act. They can put on the best Academy Award winning performance in the world until they get caught. Once they get caught, then all hell breaks loose. Then the jealousy, the hurt, the anger, the frustration, the verbal abuse, the mental abuse, and even in most cases, the physical abuse comes into play, and now there is a problem. There is a big problem. A lot of people can come back from being cheated on, but there is also a lot of people that cannot come back from being cheated on. Prime example. A man is dealing with a woman. She's faithful to that man. She loves that man. She highly praises that man. She tells her mother, her father, her family, her friends how much she loves her man, how much she adores her man. He's a good man. He does this, he does that. He does all the good things up above until she finds out she has been getting cheated on. So now her heart is broken. Now she's upset. And most men, we know we have a good woman. So the first thing that we try to do, we try to reconcile her hurt and her pain by trying to have sex with her instead of owning up to your responsibility as a man for making the mistake that you made when you stepped outside your relationship. So now everybody has found out that you have cheated on your girl. So the mama finds out, the daddy finds out, family members find out, and friends find out. And just imagine, this woman gave you all the praises in the world. She put you on a pedestal. She made you her king. She made you her everything. And you blew that and you threw it all away for a cheap thrill that wasn't even worth the good relationship that you had at home. And what I want men to understand, and I'm not talking about these thoughts, I'm not talking about these hood rats, I'm not talking about these hoochies, or I'm not talking about these hoes. I'm talking about the wholesome, good, down-to-earth women that only like being with one man and one man only. This is how she feels. You have sexual encounters with her. You do all these nasty, freaky things to her. Suck her toes, eat her out, suck all over her body parts, give her good sex, talk nasty to her, pull her hair, spank her ass, make her come multiple times, all of this good stuff. Now just imagine she has all of these things playing inside of her head of you doing those things to another woman. So how do you think she feels? How do you think her emotions and her feelings and the heartache and the heartbreak that she's going through at this period of time? The pain. She's going through a lot of pain. Not only is she going through a lot of pain, she's going through a lot of embarrassment. And she's going to have good friends. She's going to have bad friends that's going to console her. She's going to have those friends that say, oh, forget him, move on, get you another man. Or she going to have friends that's going to console her and tell her it's going to be all right. Do you want to forgive him or do you not want to forgive him? When you got women like that, some of them will forgive you. But the ones that don't, you'll never get that type of woman back again. And those type of women, they do become insecure. They do become mentally damaged. They do come to the point where they do not trust any man, whether he has good intentions or bad intentions. Her wall will be up, her antennas will be up, and it will be very hard for the next man to get inside of her heart, let alone get inside of her panties. Because now she's going to want to demand more. Now the next guy is going to have to be put through bowls of fire, jump through hula hoops, go through the ringer, just to convince her that he is not the last guy that she was in a relationship with. So what I'm telling men is this: what if your girl was out there getting smashed by another dude? All the freaky things that she does to you. Gives you good head. Rides you good. Gives you all the positions that you need to get. Make you feel like no woman has ever made you feel before. And in the back of your mind, you can think of all the things that she could be doing and more with this other guy. So now your feelings is hurt. Now you upset. Now you're angry. Now you're jealous. Now you want to go fight the other dude, or you want to go pull a pistol on the other dude, and you want to do bodily harm because this is the way you want to express your masculinity, to put other people's lives in danger, instead of taking the frustration out on the person that caused your pain in the first place. And what men need to understand too, when they get cheated on by women, if it's not your homeboy, fellas, don't ever go after the man. You chalk that up as a loss, because sure, the other guy, he introduced himself and he started the conversation, but it's your woman's responsibility to turn that conversation down. So it's obviously that man said something to her that made her antennas rise. Once those antennas rose on top of that woman's head and she started giving that man the time of the day, that's her fault, not the guy's fault. He didn't put a gun to her head and make him talk to her. He didn't put a gun to her head to make her give him her phone number, or even converse with him, or have many of text message battles with him, or many of conversations with him, to the point where she decided to lay down with this man, spread her legs wide open to this man, and let this man handle his business. And then you find out. And then there's the breakup. See, breakups really, they end up, I say 90% of the breakups end up bad. And I would say at least 75% of the breakups end up violently, where somebody physically gets hurt. And more than likely, if the law enforcement is called, somebody's going to jail. The relationship is already over. So why put yourself in a situation where you have to get arrested? You have to have a criminal record. You got to stand before the judge. You either have to pay a lawyer, or you have to get a public pretender. And you have a domestic violence case on your jail record. Then you have to pay restitution. Then you have to pay restitution to the victim. Then you have to pay restitution to the court. And you got to pay for the lawyer or the public defender who represented you. And you got to do time. And you got to go do counseling. And you got to go do anger management. Now, is the breakup of your emotions really worth you going through that? A lot of people say hell yeah. But I'm going to tell you, as an adult, I say hell no. Walk away. Walk away. Please walk away from someone that's experienced something like this as a younger man. Oh man, it takes you through a ringer. The court system really takes you through a ringer. So take it from experience, from someone that has experienced it before. Walk away, whether you're a man or a woman. Walk away. You damage somebody's property in a relationship, you're going to pay for it. Period. I mean, I've been in relationships where I broke up with a woman, and it could be because I was tired of her shit. It could be because I was tired of her mouth. It could be because I was tired of arguing. It could be a whole bunch of things. I mean, I know I've been cheated on before by a woman. Everybody has. And I'm not going to act like it ain't never happened to me. Of course it has happened to me before. And it is the worst feeling in the world. It's a fucked up feeling to know that a woman that you say that you love and you care about is actually out there cheating on you with another man. It's heartbreaking. But as you grow in life and you progress in life, those things that did have an effect on you then, you do not let those things have an effect on you now, because getting your heart broken and breaking up with somebody, they are all learning lessons. And no matter how many times you get into different relationships and you break up with somebody, the scenario of your feelings will always be the same, unless you train your brain to be prepared for failure. And you have to prepare your brain for failure, because if you do not train your brain for failure, you will repeat the same cycle over and over and over and over and over again. Breaking up is not easy. And like when I was in a relationship, the girl put stuff in my tank. Then the next time she was busting out my windows, vandalizing my car, calling my job, telling my job I'm doing this, I'm doing that. All because I didn't want to be with her no more. And stress plays so much of a big role in relationships. So if you have to sit up there and be combative with a woman as far as verbal, speaking wise, arguing, fussing, yelling, cussing, name calling, verbally abusing each other over and over and over again, at some time in your life you're going to have a breaking point. And once you have that breaking point, something has to go. So in my life, when I chose to let that particular woman go, no matter how bad it made me feel to kick her out of my house, I had to do what I had to do so I could have some sanity and peace of mind. Because her toxic attitude was affecting all the other things that I had going on in my life. I have to argue with her for something stupid, and then it gets heated, and then the next thing you know, I have to go to work. I'm working on $50,000 to $200,000 worth of equipment, and my concentration is off. My psyche is off. I can't focus on my job because I'm too busy dealing with this mess, that mess, and other mess. And the phone calling, the blowing up your cell phone, leaving 500 text messages all at once, just send. And then you be so happy when after maybe a week or two she finally calmed down and it's over. But what I've been seeing lately, I've been seeing a lot of men that have been so emotional that these men in the news has been actually killing their ex-girlfriends. Let me tell you something. There ain't a woman in this world that I would want to kill just because she don't want to be with me no more. Any man that has done something like this, and I've seen it in the news time and time again, you are a idiot. And whatever happens to you in prison, you deserve that shit. You know, just because a woman moved on with her life and she found happiness, and you're still stuck in the past on memories of how much money you spent on her, or how many times you took her out, or how many times she gave you head, or how many times she made love to you, or how many times she cooked dinner for you, or how many times she just made you feel good, period. It had to be something in that relationship to break that relationship up, to make you guys go your separate ways. And my number 2 thing is arguing. Arguing is a breakup killer. That's one of the things that kills a lot of relationships, right there with cheating. Because arguing, oh man, the words that people speak out of their mouths, the toxic venom that is spit from a person's tongue to another person for a person to hear, because they're hurt, so they're gonna hurt you. Man. Things can get ugly, because the tongue is definitely a mighty sword, and it will cut you up in pieces. And a lot of times, if a man runs into the right woman that got that tongue that cuts like a venom, well, you better watch out, because not only is she gonna display you and portray you on social media, she's gonna go live with it. She gonna tell everybody how small your penis is. She gonna be telling people you can't hit the pussy right. She gonna be telling people that you be hitting her, or you be beating on her, or you be cheating on her. And then some of them get so cold, man, they make up lies and say you was trying to molest their cousin or their sister or something, man, just to put a target on your back. Arguing is dangerous. Verbally abusing people and calling people names, that shit is dangerous. And as adults, we need to be more mindful of how we talk to people. Because I know I used to have a temper of fire. I didn't care if you was a man or a woman. You talk crazy to me, you getting it. I didn't give a damn. And you gonna run into people like that. But as I got older and I started to mature, and I started to understand that the women that I was dealing with and the verbal abuse that they were getting at me, they was just saying a lot of that stuff out of hurt and anger. For the simple fact that if I ran into those same women 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, or 10 years down the line, we could actually sit down and have a conversation about that experience that we had and that bad experience that we had. And we can be cool about it, and we can go on about our lives. There's not an ex-girlfriend to this day that I have hatred for or anger for. You know, at the present time of our breakups, yeah, I'm sure she was upset, and I'm sure as hell I knew I was upset. But that's life. you know? And my third thing that I wanted to talk about before I wrap up this video is temptation. Temptation, man. Temptation, it will get you in a lot of trouble, and that is also a breakup deal breaker. Especially when it comes to men. We can have the finest, most beautiful, thickest, sexiest woman in the world, and we will still go out there and hunt for another one, and a game and the knowledge and the know-how on how to pull a woman, how to talk to a woman, how to massage a woman's mind and manipulate a woman's mind. Oh, the temptation is real. We are going to do whatever we can, when we can, and how we can, whenever we can get away with it to get those other women. And it takes away a lot of the time. It takes away a lot of the commitment from your relationship that you with your fine, beautiful, sexy woman. But I tell men this, and I'm going to say this real talk. Keep it in mind. When you not giving her time, Jody is right there on her line. Better believe that. And sometimes, like I keep telling people, man, if you know in your heart that you don't have the willpower to resist other women, and that goes for women too. If you don't have the power to resist other men, look, you don't need to be in a relationship. Just stay single. Get all of that hoeing out your system. You know what I'm saying? You want to throw that pussy a party, that man, he want to throw that penis a party. Keep on doing it until you feel like you don't want to do it no more. But I don't know, be discreet about it, I guess. Wear a condom, I guess. Or women need to have birth control, I guess. We still can't forget that. HIV is out there, AIDS virus is out there, gonorrhea, syphilis, herpes, all of that shit's still out there. It ain't just the coronavirus. It's still some sexual viruses that'll take your ass apart too and break your ass down. And we already know, once you get AIDS, it's a wrap. And it ain't no medication that can cure that. They got some medication that'll slow it down. Oh yeah, they'll give you just enough to slow it down because they want to make money off of you. But they ain't gonna give you the full cure like they did with Magic Johnson. You know? But breaking up, it ain't no joke. It's no joke. It's very hard to deal with. It's very hard to swallow. It just tears people apart. It tears people apart. And sometimes a lot of breakups are for the good. And a lot of breakups need to be happening. You know, if a woman is in an abusive relationship, she needs to break up with that guy. If that man is in a verbally abusive relationship with a woman, he needs to break up with that woman. And sometimes these women are now, they putting hands on men too, beating the hell out of them. You know what I'm saying? And they putting themselves in situations where they have to go to jail now. They have to do anger management classes now. They have to pay restitution and pay court fees and all that stuff now. It's a lot of women out here that has got really so-called masculine. I've seen a few women beat a few men's butts out here these days, man. Yeah, I remember seeing my cousin's baby mama. He had got caught cheating on her, and she came down the street to confront him. He started telling her, "Woman, going about your business, get the F out my face." She got up in his face like, "What you gonna do? You ain't gonna do nothing to me." He reared his hand back and he slapped the shit out of her, right? She took that slap. She looked at him and got to whooping his ass. She was whooping his ass so damn good, we had to jump in to break them up. And after we finally pulled her big ass off of his little skinny ass, she reared her foot up and kicked his ass in his face and busted his whole grill open. Nose and everything, and lips just busted wide open, full of blood. I was like, damn. But it wasn't no police call involved. No police called that day. But he took his ass whooping like a man. I'll tell you that. There's no easy way to break up with nobody. Sometimes you can break up with a person just from a text message or a phone call. And a lot of times it works. A lot of times it don't work. Because you got to block the person's number. Then after you block their number, they don't want to take no for an answer. And they want to know the reason. They want to know the explanation. So then they drive all the way to your house if you guys don't live together. Then they want to come knocking on your door, beating on your door, waking up the neighbors until the police come. Then they want to cause a scene with the neighbors, and the neighbors ain't did nothing to them. The neighbors is just trying to have their peace and their quiet in their, at home in their neighborhood that you don't even live in. I'm gonna end this note on this. When it's over, it's over. Get the pain out your system. Whether you gotta cry, whether you gotta just go somewhere and be alone and clear your mind, go to the beach. Just go to the beach. Get you a chair or get you a blanket and just sit out there and just relax. Soak it all in. Get it out your system. Okay? This is your host with the most, Bane Allen. And on that note, people, I am out. Peace.
Thank you and good night.